So excited for this season of Temptation Island, Season 2, Episode 1. There's a lot to unpack, so stay tuned.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, guys? I'm your host tonight. I'm Missy Bernier. I love reality TV, and I cannot wait to be your host tonight on this season of Temptation Island. Welcome to the episode. The journey begins. Season 1 of Episode 2. I hosted this show last year last season. I am so excited to talk about it tonight. I am your only host, and I would also be joined by other hosts later this season. But as we get started, we're going to introduce the couples, the singles, and we're going to get into our special segment and our overall thoughts. So as your overall thoughts, I think this season's going to be a great one. It's a lot of fun. You got to introduce to a lot of the singles. Some of the singles or some of the couples are a little bit older, but I think that will give such a great, bring that into the show. So I'm so excited. So let's talk about the couples. So as you know, they're introduced the couples, and we're just going to kind of go along and introduce to see what we like about the couples. So the first pair that they introduced is Ashley and Casey. So Ashley and Casey have been dating for around a year and a half. They met on social media, and within this time, Casey told the viewers that Ashley is a little bit nervous about going on Temptation Island because they had past of cheating. And Casey still talks to his ex-girlfriends, and that's something that Ashley really doesn't give too much trust in him. So we'll kind of see as the season unfolds of what happens with their relationship. Moving on, let's talk about Ashley and Rick. So Ashley, another Ashley, I know, right? So Ashley and Rick been together for 4.5 years. That's a long time. And they have great personalities, they said. And Rick also has a history of cheating. And they've broken up before, but Ashley was willing to give the relationship another chance because she is ready to settle down and, get married and have kids. And she thinks Temptation Island will really bring them together. So let's see what happens with that. Okay, so the next couple we have is Kate and David. So they've also been together for, 3 years. So they're kind of like Rick and Ashley, but not really. Well, not really, but just as long term. And Kate is also a little bit she wants to start a family, but David is kind of slow to starting a family. So she wants to see if Temptation Island will bring them together or they'll break up or fall apart. So, and they also said that she mentioned that David really doesn't open up enough. And she really wants David to be, bring a lot to the table, because she's a little bit older than him, because Kate mentioned she's 34 and she's 6 years older than David. So she's a little bit more trying to start a family and, be with him. And he just is he said he's not that affectionate. He'll say, I love you, but he's not like the lovey-dovey type romantic guy. And the last couple is, her name is a little bit difficult, but Asanika and Gavin. So they've been together for a year and a half, and their personalities, they definitely get along. They've been together for a while, so they really like their chemistry with one another. But Gavin is a little bit slower in commitment. Asanika kind of wants to buckle things down and get married. So they're thinking Temptation Island's gonna bring them together, hopefully, because it seems like in this episode she's really trying to push for the relationship. But we'll just see about that. So next, we just want to say thank you for making us the ESPN of TV talk. For us to continue to grow, we need your help. So please, guys, subscribe on YouTube, give us a rating on iTunes, and leave us a comment. Also, make sure to jump in the live chat for future episodes, and we will give you a fan shout out. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We really appreciate it. So let's move on to our next topic, the singles. So they kind of introduced a few of the singles in this episode, and we kind of ran through them, not ran through them, but you know what I'm saying. We kind of talked about them. And a lot of them, I've noticed, are kind of on the younger, early 20s size. Peyton, the bartender, she's 23. Ben, he's 25. Dominique is 25. There's a few that were kind of in their later 20s, even early 30s. So that's kind of different. And it shows that, they're definitely looking for love too, which is super cool. And then, so they're the singles were I don't know. I guess they all have different personalities. Like Ben, the 25-year-old, he's from the Army, so he's definitely looking for love. Medea is a little bit older. She's 30, and she's from Atlanta, so she said she's looking for a Prince Charming, so hopefully she might find him. KB, I think he was fine. He was a nice beard with a bald head. He was cute to me, but we'll see about that. I think later on my predictions would be, I'm not going to get into predictions, but we'll talk about that. So yeah, the singles were super cool, you know, especially on a reality show. They definitely get the couples like excited because they want to see like, okay, like who's going to go for who. And when they had the little roundup, they kind of like went by and showed like who they're interested in, and they definitely, I think the guys and the girls definitely had some competition for sure. Okay, so let's talk about the house. The house is definitely awesome. Just from last season, you know, they split up the couples. The men go to one house and then the women go to another villa. So they definitely split up the couples, which is, I think the couples don't like that, obviously, but you're here for a reason. You're here to make sure like you love each other or you want to find love with someone else. So that was definitely hard for the couples just because that some of the couples have that trust issue, but that's why they're here. So you kind of saw that with Ashley and Casey because she was crying like, I don't want you to leave and all that. And a lot of the couples I was surprised that were kind of upset. That was shocking to me was like Gavin and Sonica because she was like, I didn't even want to be here. And Gavin's like, I know, but we're still going to try to make this work. So I guess the last meeting of the couples was kind of an emotional one because everyone was like tearful, really sad. But I think just to be optimistic, they're here for a reason. So I think it's going to turn out really good. So before we move on to the special segment, I do want to touch base on who I think would. Actually, we'll talk about that in predictions. Okay, moving on to a special segment. So, who will be the most likely to cheat? Well, I feel like this kind of goes on with predictions, but I think Ashley and KB kind of hit it off. They definitely had a strong connection in like what they were talking about, and it was kind of hard just because they just met on like tonight, so they really didn't get that one-on-one time. But I feel like maybe Ashley and KB will definitely have some sort of connection later on. Okay, guys, it's time for news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, let me just pull up the news and gossip. Okay, so on Fab TV, 2fab.com, Nikki Bella was interviewed by the news source Fab 2Fab, and she mentioned if she would ever go on Temptation Island. Nikki Bella said that she would be a little bit nervous on going just because you're going on there with your boyfriend, but at the same time she would be open to it just because if you're meant to be, you'll stick it out, but if you're not meant to be, I don't think it was supposed to, work out to begin with. So I like her mindset, especially because you are going on a reality show and you're definitely dating other people. So I definitely enjoy her. I think that was a really good positive outlook to have about Temptation Island for sure. Okay, so guys, let's get into predictions. Excited about predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So I kind of already mentioned this in the special segment, but I feel like Ashley and KB will definitely have a connection because she mentioned to Rick at the table of them not leaving, but like their last dinner together, that she really enjoyed her conversation with him and how he wants to settle down and have a family. And I think Rick kind of felt intimidated by that. So I definitely feel like she's going to start a connection. They really didn't. I think that was the only one that really struck my attention, but maybe like Kareem and Asania, like they could have something going on. It's really hard to tell now just because it's like the new episode, but I think some of the couples will definitely like, loosen up by like the season starts to roll out, because I feel like right now everyone's like, oh, I just left my boyfriend or girlfriend. So I for sure think Ashley and KB, because he's fine, she's cute. Let's see what happens. I'm super excited for that. But I just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in on this episode. I enjoyed. This is I'm so excited for the rest of the season. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. You guys can follow me on Instagram and YouTube at Missy Bernier. I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye, everyone.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.